All right, we're about to knock this out of the park with the last Fox produced X-Men movie.
Unless somehow some miraculously movie just shows up and goes, ta-da! Here,
Well,
y'all
at
didn't
least
see
not
this
by
one?
Fox though.
How did
Like,
y'all not know? How did y'all not know this existed?
yeah, because that would have been released by now.
You would think
Oh, I
so.
think so. I think so. I mean, we already did
But
Deadpool and
but
Wolverine, you know.
but we did all the Fox movies and then we forgot about this one. So
Yeah, we didn't technically do them in a timeline, but maybe I on the playlist I'll put them accordingly to
yeah, this
release.
one
Should
I
I
don't
do
know.
release
I
date?
don't. I'm questioning how does this fit in the timeline? To be honest with you,
Well, this is definitely before New Mutants because
we
New
don't
Mutants
really
show footage. Oh, but then you don't know.
know this is because this the way it plays does not seem to fit in the New Mutants universe.
Then you're right because you last time you said they never said what time that was, what year the New
Yeah,
Mutants was.
we're just saying that because we saw clips on New Mutants that come
That
from this
that came from
movie.
this movie. Was this
But
this is 2029 or 2024?
this is 2029 in this
2020.
movie.
Okay.
Now, some of the models of vehicles, it gets
Oh,
2024.
they said that's why the Chrysler, the limo he was
The
driving.
limo was not a 2024, I don't think. I think it was the pickup he got.
Oh no, I thought it was the limo because who's that white boy? White boy, what is his name? That said it was a 24 Chrysler. That's why I
Did
was
he say it's
like,
20? I thought he said
yeah,
it was a different year Chrysler.
it was a 24 Chrysler when he got into his limo.
No, I think it was the pickup was a 2024.
No, because of the pickup he didn't get until later, and then
Yeah, and the pickup was supposed to already be old, but the pickup was a brand new pickup. It was a 2024 Dodge pickup.
oh, not
Well,
the car they drove later. It's the Chrysler.
I'm very sure the
Because
Chrysler
when he got into the
car was
call
a
the
very.
first time, he was talking about the Mexican incident. That
I
like
thought
it
that
looks
car
like they
was
were
very new. Yeah, I think that
yeah.
car was newer than anything that was in the movie.
It looks like a prototype, right? That Chrysler limo.
The Chrysler, like a prototype. This is why I'm saying the
That
Chrysler
looks
couldn't
really
be a
nice.
2024 since the movie takes place in 2029. I'm
Oh,
thinking
so it's
that
an old
Chrysler
car.
was.
It's an
I'm thinking no, that
old car
Chrysler
to
was
that
an old
time.
car because we see all old cars in this movie. The only new cars were the Chrysler vehicles.
You know what? He said it was 2024. Okay.
I don't think he did.
Well, you know what? No, we're not gonna go back to check it. So we're just gonna agree to
Well,
disagree.
we're not yet. We're probably going to disagree in a minute because I'm probably going to go back and check it
Yeah, you go back and check it.
because it wasn't in 2029. It's the pickup was 2024.
The
The pickup
pickup's
was
2024.
the pickup for us is new, and it is a new pickup. But in the movie, the pickup would have been old.
Oh, because it's 2029.
Yeah, because it's year 2029. That car, if you look at all the cars he's driving on the street with, that is the newest vehicle that anybody could ever dream of.
Yeah, and that the Chrysler looks really nice too.
Yeah, the
That limo.
Chrysler. Well, the Chrysler's different.
Wow. What do you think about this movie? Since you're such a big, huge Wolverine fan.
I think the same thing that. Well, I don't know. I didn't like it that much. It was okay.
How many times have you seen it? I think that's
This is
sometimes.
probably second. This is the second time I've
Oh,
ever seen
second
it.
time. Okay.
Yeah, it was okay. I
Why
mean,
didn't you like it?
I don't know. Just didn't think it was that great of a groundbreaking movie, to be honest with you.
Because Fox did it.
I guess. I mean, actually like the Wolverine better than I like this one.
Hmm. That's hard to
I
judge.
mean, this one's okay. I mean, it's like to me, it's even with the New Mutants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd sit there, I'd watch it if it's on, but I'm not gonna. And I may even turn it off to be honest with you, because I kind of got bored during it.
Did you like that? You know what? There was not too much mutants in it
There
because
really wasn't too much to
it
the
was
movie,
just
to
the
be honest.
kids.
Yeah, the kids, and one of the
Who's
kids
some of
is
them an X
actually an X
Factor?
Men.
Was it
One of
Richter?
them's one, yeah, Richter, because
Richter's
I
an X Men.
recognize the name. He becomes an X Men. He's been a New Mutant.
Yeah.
I think he was introduced in X Factor.
Mohawk Valet.
And of course, you
Maria.
have huh?
Oh, just reading the name of the kids that she was
Oh,
repeating.
okay.
Jonah, Gideon, Rebecca, Delilah.
Gideon would have been an X Men too.
Yeah.
I don't remember in the other ones, so.
Probably X Factor. I think one of them is an X Factor, but I don't know which one because they were just the kids in.
It would have to be a new X Factor. None
Yeah,
of
yeah,
them were X
yeah.
Factor that I ever remember.
It just some of them you can see briefly their powers, like the girl who breathed the ice air
Yeah, yeah. Well, all supposed to be made by using still stolen DNA from X Men.
from X Men. Yeah, so they kind of connect that together back from the Wolverine origins.
Yeah.
Because that's when they were collecting samples with Stryker and things like that with the alkali transingen. If I remember saying that right, and Excess Corporation again. They have Excess Corporation again, which is Mr. Sinister. So I was like, is Mr. Sinister in this movie? No, of course not. Why would they ever
Well,
show that?
yeah, because remember in this one they got rid of all the mutants.
Yeah, it's just phased out, right? They were just no more mutants. So
They got put stuff in the food and everything and got rid of all the mutants.
oh,
So this makes me wonder, why do they have the new mutants then? This is the same universe or not? Because I was on an assumption that the New Mutants was older than this, but I don't remember if it told a time period.
I think the only reason like how Logan and New Mutants connected is just that footage. That's how you think they are in the same universe.
Yeah. Well, I'm just asking, when was the New Mutants take place?
Oh, I don't know. There's still mutants and
Because I mean, is this the same universe?
oh,
Which universe is this?
I think just by release date. You know what? Let me go back to New Mutants real quick just to see if they have the date. Like what time did they take?
I mean, this. I guess this could be any. This could. Is this the current universe we've been watching, or is this the old X-Men universe?
The old X-Men, not the first class one you're referring to.
So we're sure that because it could be the first class universe.
Because they talk about Statue of Liberty.
Oh, okay. But we don't know that that battle eventually comes again.
That's true too. So eventually, are we talking about
You
this
gotta
is the
remember,
Back
'cause we
to
gotta
the
remember-
Future timeline thing?
Well,
or
we got to remember,
multiverse?
First Class takes place. All the First Class movies take place long before the first three movies take place.
Oh, let's not play this game. I'm
Okay.
I'm not. Oh, okay. Let's talk through this. So, first
Well,
class.
does it
takes
really matter
place-
what universe it is? I'm just curious what universe.
I'm
you
gonna
thought it was
say
in.
all of this is the one universe. It's one time.
But it's not one universe. That's the
One
sad thing.
sacred X-Men Fox timeline.
But there's two actually that they made. And I mean, with the way things have gone and
So,
formed.
Okay, so now
But we
we've
do
seen all
know
the
this.
X-Men.
But we do know this is the same Logan in a way from
The first
Origins Wolverine,
Yes,
because antimanium bullet.
yes, the Antimanium bullet.
But the problem is, like we said, all those other Wolverines could have folded into the other
Yeah, just that too.
universe
You're right. And
anyways, too.
now that hold on, now you brought that subject up, right? So Days of Future Past is Xavier, and are they from the original trilogy universe, or are they the different timeline? Or is it from the first class?
We know
to
from
that?
we know from Days of Future Past, the first three X-Men cease to exist now.
Cease to exist. So it could be a brand new
Or
thing.
because their universe everything got fixed, so they got, by their standards of time travel.
Oh,
they
you talk
got
about the ending of that.
erased. Yeah,
So I was talking
Yeah,
about in the middle of it, like when the movie first started, Days of Future Past. Are those
yeah,
from the old X-Men trilogy?
yeah.
Or just...
Well, that's the old X-Men trilogy.
Okay, because that it could also
Yeah.
make sense that it's from the first class thing too. Like those, like that Patrick Stewart is the
Yeah, they're not the first class yet. I guess you could say first class existed, but at that point when Wolverine enters the timeline, then they eventually change it.
wow. I wish someone on the YouTube can explain like are these the same
We
universe?
don't need
Like, you know what
somebody
I'm
on
saying?
YouTube to explain it. You got to think.
Or just somebody, not YouTube, like somebody explain
Up
like
to the point where Wolverine enters, Wolverine was sent back in time to change the timeline.
right.
So
Ugh.
all those three movies that we saw don't exist anymore. So
Is
you could say first class. You could say first class was a way almost the beginning to the first three movies. But when Wolverine enters the picture, he changes the deal.
Oh my gosh.
And time flows a different way and erases the first. It erases the first three movies.
It wastes the memory that he used to have, but he still have memories of both.
No, it erased him because now he just exists in one timeline.
Yeah, in one timeline. He didn't get to go back to those whatever temples things.
Yeah,
they're
he
going
didn't.
to.
He never went back to the future. He didn't. There was no reason to.
Yeah, his body adjusted to
because
the
because
alternate.
the reason for them sending him to the past does not no longer exist. Therefore, he doesn't exist
Wow, this time
because
crazy
that future never happened. Now,
This
so
time
time
travel
just
stuff is
flows.
crazy, man.
That's not that crazy.
Because I'm still thinking like the Days of Future Past, those older X-Men is from the First Class timeline, not
They
the
are the
original.
first class. Well, they're not the first class though.
No,
They're the
I'm saying it
originals.
could be. I'm not saying like it
No,
might not be the original because we don't know.
well they no they weren't though. They were the first class because of all the stuff that's happened.
You know what?
There because of the way they worked the first three movies ended up them being hunted. So they had to go back through time and then fix it and erase all the everything that they did in the first three movies. And then the timeline fixed itself.
Almost like a different universe. Because in the was it 60s or 70s? I can't remember. The Days of Future Past is the 70s.
It's in the 70s.
So let's just say in the 70s, right? If Mystique did kill Trask in that originally, the first three X-Men doesn't make sense to the Days of Future Past timeline. Because they were the Centennials would have been in the first movie, the second movie, and the third movie. Right? Because they were way into the future.
They're way in the future. Yeah, they're in the future, probably past where this movie takes place.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So it's because they fixed it, they were able to have Logan.
Okay, so Logan's in. So this universe is this, even though we're not really sure because they made two other Wolverine movies, but one of them. But I guess Tom would have fixed those movies. Could have flowed into those other movies.
Yeah, like the Ripple thing, right? Like
Yeah,
like certain things are still gonna happen, no matter
yeah,
how you try to
because we know the Wolverine, the events of the takes place with after the first three movies.
Yes. Yes.
But this Wolverine could. I mean, this Wolverine is either part of that universe or it's part of this universe. So I guess you can see it either way you want to.
And the Wolverine is tying into Days of Future Past.
Yes.
Yes, because they just need First Class to bridge that story gap. Okay.
Yeah. So he's still part of the first three.
Yeah. Oh, this. So
I guess you
Logan
could
would
say-
have happened if they didn't do the First Class.
So I guess you could say that's X-Men Prime, and then the Days of Future Past on is alternate.
Yes. Oh, Logan is this is an alternate. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because we do get Caliban. We see Caliban.
We see Caliban again.
Yeah, we see Caliban, even though it's not the same actor.
It's not the same actor because it's they're all older now.
Yeah, they're all older. But of course, I guess it's Professor Xavier killed all the X-Men.
You think so?
He did something bad because remember when he's laying in that bed before the alternate Wolverine, which I thought was stupid as crap, kills him.
Oh.
I'm
Explain.
like, I've never seen that. Well, because he's laying there and then he's telling him that he just now remembered that he did something really bad, and he doesn't deserve all of this everything he's getting now.
So you think it's like so?
And remember, he's got to hide because he's been considered a weapon of mass destruction. Remember, even that guy that's hunting him says he's considered a weapon of mass destruction because the Westminster incident was where the X-Men mansion is. So he may have did the same effect because remember when he was at that casino and when he was out there in that little building to shed him, he puts his mind deal and he kills all those people. And he could do that in other movies. Remember, if he thought too hard on trying to find mutants or listen to mutants,
with the cerebral, yep.
Yeah. So he didn't need cerebral anymore.
Yeah, because he can't.
Apparently he really didn't need it.
So when Xavier he was having seizures, right? That's what's happening.
They kept calling it mind seizures and stuff. I guess his brain was collapsed. Because they keep saying seizures, but he wasn't having a seizure where he's falling down and shaking around and stuff.
Yeah, wow. And the only people that can actually move through that time is Wolverine and Laura. Because they heal.
Yeah, because, Wolverine kind of heals. It never explains why Wolverine's dying, though.
Oh, it doesn't.
Since Wolverine's
it's just the antimanium poisoning him right inside. That's what I got.
I don't think so. It could be.
Because when I really like that doctor scene. The doctor was so excited to meet a mutant, and he realized that Wolverine, he heals himself, but something is still poisoning him. But then Logan said, I know what it is. You can't help me.
Huh. But we know in the Wolverine, the only thing that could kill him in that movie is not antimanium. Remember, it's a little thing inside his heart.
Yes.
So yeah. That thing just kept destroying his heart.
You know what this reminds me of? Like, not only in Logan, right? But like, the Wolverine, that stuff. It reminds me of that show Smallville. Or like, was it The Incredible Hulk, the TV series? In the TV series, like, hey, don't piss off the Hulk, right? And then in every episode, they piss him off. And in
Yeah.
Smallville, there are times where like Hulk loses his powers, but he gets it back. But then it's just interesting how you get there. Like in the Wolverine, really, he's gonna lose his thing, and then like in Logan, really, he's not gonna regenerate because that's not how that works. But
Yeah.
I do
Well,
understand. Like, let me finish. I do
that's
understand
right.
because they like. Hugh Jackman can't play this forever, so he's eventually, obviously a lot older. They even make him look a lot older in this movie, and him
Yeah.
and Patrick Stewart does.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they shot this, like, wow, they make both of them look so much older than they are supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, they made Patrick Stewart look really old.
Yeah, especially with the hands and stuff. Like, wow,
Yeah.
he's not 90, but he looks 90.
Yeah, and all the liver spots on his head and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I really like the way that they let Professor X talk in this movie. It's so weighted off.
Oh yeah,
I
they
didn't
did.
expect, yeah, because he's so much
Yeah.
older now. You
Yeah,
know what?
he's-
I didn't even catch that like he did kill all the X-Men.
Yeah, I think he killed him. They never really say, but
Yeah.
it's not Wolverine.
In the comic book, so this is based off Old Man Logan, right? And in
Yeah.
the comic book, it's Wolverine that killed all the X-Men.
Yeah. Well, I think they try to do that several times because even in Deadpool, something bad happened and all the mutants die.
Yeah.
Even in Deadpool, because that Wolverine doesn't want to do anything.
Oh, Deadpool and Wolverine you're referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine, but most likely it was Professor Xavier accidentally.
Yeah, he killed. That was probably his first seizure before anybody know what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably and then Wolverine felt guilty and had to take care of him
Yeah.
because it's all that's left. But you also got to remember they're wiping out all the mutants too. That company's
Yeah, the humans are
wiped
wiping
out.
all the mutants. They
So
want to
the
control.
way that's why Wolverine when Professor Xavier was saying, "Oh, I'm talking to mutants and we're finding mutants," Caliban's like, "I can't locate any mutants. I find mutants. I'm not finding any mutants."
Yeah.
Of course, Professor Xavier is talking to mutants, but
Yeah.
the thing is, they believe no mutants are born again.
Yep.
You know, what was that? Island of Man. Remember that movie where there's no more people
Children of
born
Men.
again? Children of Men.
Yeah. No kid. No human born since like for a long time ago.
Yeah, well, this same thing. Like, there's no mutants, so that's why the doctor's like, "Hey, I just read you in comic books. You don't exist in the real world."
How did you like having comic books in this movie of
I thought
X-Men?
that was weird.
It was weird, right? I
but
felt
we've
the
seen
same
that-
thing.
But we also saw that in, the last X-Men movie, the Dark Phoenix. So
We did.
well, everybody loves them, so it's already becoming
Oh,
fan
they made
stuff.
a
So
fan
people,
state of it,
so
yeah.
people are making stories for them, and so that's
Oh.
what they'd make comic books. It's like the Old West. You have all those gunfighters, so they made 5-cent dime novels too, embellishing their stories, making them more famous than they were, like Billy
Oh
the Kid,
yeah, Billy the
White
Kid.
Earp and stuff. You had all those stuff that people up back east would reading, while these guys are living out in the West, not really doing hardly any of the stuff you see in the books.
Yeah, just
you
to
know?
sell. Yeah.
Yeah, just to sell, making them famous. Even though these guys are like,
Well, now you
but-
talk it that way, and it doesn't seem so weird to me anymore.
oh, okay, well that's the way it is.
No, but it
so.
makes sense though. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, that's what the comic books, but like the Wolverine's.
I don't have that comic book.
they're just
I
stories.
did check. I did check that issue. It is the same thing.
Oh, is it?
The Eden, yeah. I remember
Yeah.
checking it like from Logan just to find out what issue so I could see it in my. Well, I have it in digital. I don't have the hard copy.
She had a handful of comics, so.
Yep.
So that's what those people believe. Because you got to remember, after Dark Phoenix, even at the beginning of Dark Phoenix, remember the X-Men were famous now. Then
Yes, they
they were
were.
famous heroes for their universe, and then they just kind of faded away
Yeah, I did.
because that main guy from this new company killed them all because he wanted to own the mutants so he could sell them like their commodity.
Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, because see all those kids that they had in that deal, they weren't born. Well, they were born, but they weren't naturally born. They were made in test tube, inseminated to
A
women,
woman.
and then the women were killed.
So, I told Heather I was going to ask you this today. So, these are all born from Mexican mothers, right?
Yes.
So, why is one of them black?
Well, why wouldn't they be?
Oh, I guess the one of the mutants is black.
Yeah, but I mean, why wouldn't they come out black using certain DNA? They probably don't
Yeah.
use any of the mom's DNA.
It's not the mom's DNA. I just realized that now.
I mean, they may have been using some of their DNAs, but some of
well,
them they may
X-Men
just make.
Will I Am's
But you
character
gotta-
is black,
but you
so it
gotta
could be
think-
him.
But you got to think you can make an embryo
Hmm.
because they may have like that. For all we know, the DNA they're using is like Marvel Girls or Jean Grey's or
Oh,
Rogues
yeah.
or somebody
Well-
else's, and they're mixing
And
that.
basically,
Yeah,
a
so-
lot of them from X-Men Origins.
Yeah, so a lot of
Because
those
one of them
kids
could
are.
control electricity or something.
Yeah. Well, you got to think a lot of those kids are just because all you do is make an embryo and you implant it in somebody,
So do you
or you.
think?
But it would be cheaper or easier just to mix it with regular DNA. But the problem is if you mix it with DNA, you may not get a mutant. You may get the regular person out.
So
So then,
in a way, do you think Laura is really Logan's daughter in a way?
yeah, because it's his
Is his
DNA.
DNA?
He used he took his DNA and mixed it with somebody else's DNA. So there's no telling who the mother was. For all we know, it's Jean Grey's DNA. But since she only looked like Wolverine, but you got to think though, with DNA, if you're going to make clones and stuff and manipulation, you're going to try to make enough genes that you get a copy of what
So
you
is
have.
Laura a clone or genetically
In a
created
way, she's a
human?
clone. Well, this is the same thing. What's the difference? There's not a difference
I
because
guess
they got
that's what.
all they basically got like his DNA, and they
They
got
made
it to where
another.
they
Yeah.
yeah they looked at all his gene pool and they made sure they got a Wolverine out of it.
Wow. And you
But they
don't like
probably
X.
mix somebody else. I don't like what.
So why? So because you mentioned earlier, you thought it was the stupidest thing ever. X-24,
Yeah,
a
but just
mindless
another
clone.
Wolverine. A Wolverine fighting another Wolverine. It's I guess to some people it's cool. I'm like, it's just like it's cliche. I've seen it a lot of times. I thought it was cool at first. You know what I thought was cool? Because when he comes to that room, he looks like Sabretooth.
Oh, he
Oh yeah,
does.
well, his hair. Oh, it looked just like Sabretooth. So I
Yeah.
thought it was Sabretooth. And then he gets out of line. It's like, oh, it's just another Logan. Like I've never seen that. Like, I mean, like that's not never seen that before. I
They
mean,
use his real name
it
in
would
this
have been
movie though.
better. It would have been better if it would have been Sabretooth. Would have made
Yeah, it
more
would have been
sense.
cooler.
It would have been real cool because, like I said, there's a lot of stories where they always go, "Oh, you're the baddest person. The your biggest villain's usually yourself." I'm like
Yourself.
tired of that. I'm tired of that one. And then the only thing, what was this? Something else I didn't like. I didn't really like the villain, the guy that hunts them, the Reavers. The Reavers are supposed to be Australian.
Oh, so that's a little
What do
bit
you, and I'm not saying
different
the actor
there.
was bad with a bad actor, and he wasn't like he was a super villain where I go, oh, I don't like him
Pierce,
because he's
right?
so
Are you
yeah,
talking
because he's
about
so
Pierce? Is
yeah,
his
the
name
the
Pierce?
the
Yeah,
guy with
Donald.
the tattoo on his neck,
And
yeah,
the robot hand.
with the southern accent. I'm like, this act to me, he was just such a lame character.
Oh.
I was like, could you make a more menacing villain instead of just some guy? Oh yeah, I'm such a fan,
Is he
blah
the
blah
villain?
blah.
Would he be the villain or is it the
He's not the
doctor?
main villain. I mean, you really don't have. You just have this shadowy corporation you never see. So I guess you can say Mr. Sinister is real villain because you never see this
You
guy.
never see him, yeah.
You never see anything. All you see is these other guys show up. And plus, I mean, there's some scenes I like. I thought it was funny, like when they first had that girl, she's sitting there eating cereal.
Yeah.
So all those big guys go in there to get her, and she comes walking out with
With
holding
the
something,
head of the
and she
biggest
throws that
dude,
head
yeah.
up. Yeah, I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's funny.
With the head of the biggest
There's a
dude
lot
that
of,
went in there.
but I want to put out there's a lot of heads cut off in this movie.
Oh,
I
there
mean,
is.
I'm not knocking the fight scenes in this movie. I mean, the fight scenes were good.
Well, it's
A
also the
lot of the
first
fight
rated
scenes.
R
Wolverine.
of the X-Men movies too. Like
Yeah.
and
So the
Wolverine.
fight, so I mean, it was more like Wolverine. He fought more like Wolverine. You saw more fighting.
You know what's really funny? I think it's because all the Wolverine and X-Men movies are all PG-13, right? And when Deadpool and Wolverine came out, some of the older adults are like, "Oh, Deadpool," and then I was like, I would worry about Wolverine cussing more. Deadpool is just raunchy, and he could do that
Yeah.
PG-13 level. But what
Yeah.
Wolverine says, no, it's really rated R because he's a major lead a-hole, right? Like he'll say whatever.
He doesn't really care.
He
Yeah.
doesn't really care. Like
But
a lot of people are worried about Deadpool, but like I would worry about Wolverine.
but the problem with this movie, I guess, if you want to say, what do you feel about this movie? I compare this movie to X-Men Origin. I meant Wolverine Origins.
This one.
Yeah, this one seemed
This
kind
one
of
is
on
better
that.
than Wolverine Origins, though.
It, it's even with it because it reminded me so much stuff in this one reminded me of Wolverine Origins. Basically, it's like a rehash of the first two Wolverine movies because he's sick, he's dying. That's the Wolverine. He was sick, he's dying. Oh, he's all tore up about this stuff. I mean, this whole movie was just like a rehash. I mean, they didn't break new ground with this character for me. The only character they broke new ground with was Professor Xavier because he was
Oh, because it
dying.
was totally different,
It
yeah.
was different. I never seen that for Professor Xavier.
Yeah, you're right. I never seen that way of Professor X before.
I've already seen two movies with Wolverine doing the exact same thing he's done, but I've never seen what Professor Xavier was going through.
So, well, obviously, oh, from what you said, right? Then
And I also loved it when Caliban blew himself up
oh, that was a really good scene.
because he couldn't. He was trying to fix stuff. He was trying to change. You know, he didn't want to hunt mutants
But let me
anymore,
go back to
but
the
he
last
couldn't.
point though of the character build-up before we go to
Okay.
Caliban. Because you said that, it makes me realize, like, okay, Deadpool and Wolverine was a lot better because that was a Wolverine we never get to see, but we
That's a Wolverine.
wanted
Oh,
to.
that was the
Yeah.
Wolverine we never seen. That's the Wolverine is in the comic books. That's the what you always want to see. And I
Yep.
guess that's what they're trying to get you. But I'm like, I mean, he was self-loathing in that movie, but the problem is he became the hero.
Yeah.
This one he became a hero, but it's just like,
So Fox basically built a character of Wolverine
yeah,
that we really, never really wanted to see, and they were able to carry him for, was it 17 years?
yeah.
Yeah, right.
They had enough of you because I mean, people kept showing up to the theater. I'm sure to see the same thing. Reason I kept showing up to see Wolverine because he was Wolverine. He looked like Wolverine, acted like Wolverine, but you're still missing the Wolverine.
The Wolverine.
You got Logan. You got Logan. Tons of Logan.
And then
But
Ryan
we
Reynolds
never got
finally got it to us.
It'd be like us watching Robert Downey Jr. be Tony Stark. We watch him for 16 movies, and finally the last movie he's Iron Man. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because you waited and you waited because you want to see it, but you're never getting it.
Wow. That's a good point. I never thought about that. But then
Yeah,
like we
because in
talked about a
Deadpool he
lot of
was
that in
Wolverine.
X-Men movies, like character build, and then
Yeah,
Dark Phoenix was really great character build. That's when they spent one movie just on
yeah.
one character.
And the sad thing is they could have built it better. That's the problem because they kind of wasted it on Apocalypse.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
Apocalypse came before.
Apocalypse could have been better too because they
Dark
didn't build
Phoenix.
up Apocalypse or any of those characters by the time. I mean, Apocalypse should have came later, like I said.
Yeah, Angel just showed up. Storm
Yeah,
just showed up.
yeah. So we didn't get a lot of them,
Psylocke just showed up. Like people just show up. Like, what is
and
this?
they
A
just
celebrity
disappeared.
party?
Yeah. They're just like, hey, listen, it's basically a big old name drop.
Yeah, because they just want to drop. Like,
Because it's
hey,
like this
do these
movie, they
moves.
dropped a name because you don't really know who that character is until you see that little piece of paper. It says Richter.
Yeah, Richter.
And then I'm sitting there going, I know who Richter is, but I couldn't tell which one of them was Richter.
Huh. No, that's really good. Wow.
So I mean, it wasn't a horrible movie, but it wasn't a super good movie either. It's not near anywhere in the tops of the X-Men movies. And then when you hear the articles of people telling you know, Hugh Jackman, oh, you should stop there because you could ruin your career. I'm like, thank God he didn't listen to him because to me, this was not the pinnacle of his acting as Wolverine
No,
career.
it's not.
I mean,
So
of
not
course,
counting Deadpool and Wolverine, right?
I'm counting
Which
the
was the
other.
best
Yeah,
Wolverine? Like
counting
just
what?
the Fox produced Wolverine.
To me, the best Wolverine standalone movie is the Wolverine.
Oh, the Wolverine.
Because
Okay.
up to that point, that's the first I saw of it, and it reminded me of the comic books I collected.
So,
I
but
mean,
what about
I'm
all
not
the
gonna say
X-Men?
the
Oh,
all the X-Men.
not Logan trilogy, right? Not the Wolverine trilogy.
Yeah,
Which
but
was
you're
the
just
best
saying
Wolverine
with
X-Men?
which one was he in the best? Days of Future Past.
Always agree. Yeah, Days of
Oh,
Future
you
Past.
have to because that's where I mean, you don't have to. I guess you can. You could. I mean, I'm sure people like the other three, something he did in the other three, but to me, he was one of the driving forces to a point, and then he stepped back when he needed to
Yeah,
for the X-Men story to come in.
but he still had that personality of
Because
Logan
because if you
in
said
that
that,
movie.
because for all we know, some people may go, First Class was the best Wolverine. I go, yeah, he had one
Ooh,
line,
you have one line, but that wasn't enough of
which would
whatever.
establish his character as you known him in the comic books. But I'm like, you want more, or you're not,
Yeah.
or why watch it?
Yep.
I mean, of course, that's the biggest. I mean, everybody remembers that line because it's funny.
So now I think we probably said this before when we did.
So, me,
Deadpool and
what was your
Wolverine.
favorite? So, you're agreeing with me on Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past, definitely.
So, what was your favorite Wolverine standalone story?
It would be this one.
Okay.
It would be Logan, because it was the best. Like I really like that line when he said like bad shit happens to people I care about, and then Laura
Yeah.
said like, "Well, then I will be fine." That was really good because like up to this point, right? He's right. Everybody that he cares for, right, dies until Days of the Future Past. Everybody brought back, and that line was hit more powerful because the last person that Logan cared for was Professor X.
Yeah.
And I like that Caliban brought up that point, like, hey, when you buy the boat, it's just you two. And he's like, what are you talking about? Come on. You're buying a thing called the Sunseeker. And, look at me.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then when he dies, like, there was really nothing left for Logan to live on because that was the last person he cared for.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Well,
And
you're right.
I and I did like some of the scenes when when Xavier, when he saw Laura, he was so happy that you see another
Oh
mutant,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh
Because like
yeah.
it really makes sense. Like it brought that scene in Deadpool and Wolverine when Wolverine talks to Cassandra, like when he tells her, like, you know what, if Charles knew that you existed, he would tear the whole world apart just to find you. Because he did the same thing like in Logan, like Xavier, like he was so happy to see another mutant because
Yeah.
that's who he cared for and that's what he was trying to protect. Even though we talk about it in Dark Phoenix, like it really depends on the individual what you think about love is. Because if you
Yeah.
don't know the whole backstory, right, then you're just gonna have your own opinion, and people are not gonna understand it. And I thought like, yeah, that's why I like this one a lot. Is because at the end, he when he find out like he does care about these kids, he did protect them. So they didn't really, none of the bad stuff happened to those kids that he
Yeah.
cared for at that last moment when he
Well,
found
you got to remember though,
Pierce.
he's got a kind of narrow view of himself. He doesn't really like himself that much.
Yeah.
And to him, he's just everything's bad. Everything's doom and gloom.
But in a way, right, this whole Wolverine story, ever since the beginning, like the X-Men or Wolverine Origins, right, he wanted to die.
Yeah.
He wanted
Well,
to die
because
ever since then.
yeah. Well, that's the I don't
And
know
then
why
that's
they
how they closed it on this
yeah, and
story arch.
they hit on that too hard. Yeah, and to me, they push on that too hard in the movies. That he just wants to not exist anymore. It's like the vampire stories where, oh, I live forever and I've seen everybody
Yeah.
die that I ever
No, I
loved.
agree.
But
Very
I'm like,
similar.
and
Yeah.
it's cool, and I mean, I know that it is, but I'm like, I've seen 3 movies where he wants it. Just give me where he's a hero. Come on, and doesn't want to die anymore, which you get in Deadpool
In
finally.
that, yeah, Deadpool finally. Well, we talk
Because
about that. Ryan
because in
Reynolds
the
brings
comic
the
books, because
comic
in the
book versions.
because in the comic books, he's not like that all the time.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
so this is Fox marketing at its best, right? Or
yeah.
not even blame it on
Well,
Fox because
to me,
WB does
I'm
the
not
same
blaming it.
thing.
It's just the storylines that I'm like, you could change the storyline sometimes. It's okay. You
Yeah,
know?
they did in Disney
Yeah.
and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. I'm like, you can make Wolverine want for something else. You don't
So
have to give him the same story over and over
you're
again.
right,
I mean,
and
this movie did have good moments, like when they go to that family and Professor Xavier's telling the
oh,
story
that's
about him
really
going
good.
to
Yeah.
school and stuff. Because to me, even in the movies, Professor Xavier does see Wolverine like a little son to him.
Yes.
Because he seems because I mean it's not just Fox pushing it in a way. I
Yeah.
mean, just by the actors who have acted with the Wolverine, they see him as a project or somebody they can an angry man that they can fix that is very important to them.
Yeah. No, it's no. You're true. Right? No, no, you're right. Right. You're very accurate on
I
that. I
mean,
agree.
and it stays as apparently it is to Wolverine too because he seems to care about Professor X more than anybody in all the stories he's been in. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yep.
So
Because he cried in the last stand when he saw Xavier. I mean, yeah, when he saw Doctor Professor X dies, he
yeah,
was heartbroken because that was
yeah,
somebody he cared about.
yeah. That was
And
well, that
Jean
was kind
Grey,
of
like yeah, when he cares
that's
about
kind of his
someone, yeah,
future. Yeah, it's his future in a way.
because he didn't have to take care of Professor X. I mean, like he carries him to the bathroom. Like, hey,
Oh yeah, he
I
does
can't,
everything.
I can't go when you're looking. Trust me, I'm not looking.
Yeah, yeah, I like that.
That was really good.
It's a good stuff.
No, that was really good. Like I thought the story was really great. Like it might not be the best that like you like, but then I
Yeah,
enjoyed it because I see
I
also in
think it
like
needed to
the father
evolve.
daughter thing. That probably hit a lot of people with too. Like
Yeah,
people with daughters. Like this is really good, man. That was really good. I just didn't like the antimonium poisoning him. Like just like
I
Ryan
don't
Reynolds
really
said,
think
that's not how
I
that works.
I don't think it poisoned him because, like I said, he never had that problem in any other movie.
Oh, so you could suspect that it was that thing from the heart.
Something else happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, there must have been something else.
No,
Maybe
that's
he
cool.
went and
Yeah.
got some because you got to remember that all that stuff. I think it was that land, all that land he was on. In Mexico
Yeah.
was owned by that
That corporation.
Japanese
Yeah.
yeah that Japanese lady. She provided it for him, I think. So
Oh, right.
yeah, because you can't just go out there and just go, hey, this is my land.
This land is my land.
Yeah.
Did you have you seen that western in this movie?
Yes, that's called Shane.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, the western's called Shane. So yes, I've seen
Oh
it. That's
man.
where I got my name.
Well, no way. Oh, that's
Yes.
so cool. Oh, um,
Yeah, my dad's a Western fan,
Well, I could
so
tell that.
yes.
Wow, that's
So yes, I've
awesome.
seen Shane. Yeah, so that was yeah. As soon as it showed, it was like I know that movie because that's Jack Palance. That when it starts off, the first clip they show with that guy standing on the porch, the gunfighter,
Yeah.
that's Jack Palance. You know who Jack Palance
No,
is, right?
no,
Okay, Jack
explain.
Palance is in Batman. Remember Batman with Michael Keaton,
Yes.
the thug that the Joker works for. That he
Oh,
comes in there and he goes, "Hey, pumpkin." He goes, "It's not
oh, that
pumpkin,"
yeah,
and
that
and
that
he,
that
and he shoots
that
him
big
up.
boss guy. Yes.
Yeah, that's him. That's Jack
Oh,
Palance.
okay.
So yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
he's been in some movies that we've seen. So
Oh, that's awesome. Let me take a sip of water. Hey, did you ever look up Dr. Sander Rice or Dr. Henry McGee?
I have not.
Ah, oh, dang it. I was hoping you did because I
Oh
wrote
no,
their
I didn't. I
names.
was going to, and I never got around to it.
Let me see who they are now.
I get sidetracked real easy because when you get on the internet to look, Google something. Google's got news stories, and then there's always the news stories that catches my attention because they're watch what you do, and they cater news stories just because they're like, huh, Shay likes race cars. We're gonna tell him a story about race cars. Actually, they're like Shay likes beer. We're gonna tell him about Spirit, this new beer that everybody
did
likes,
you
and then before I know it, I'm reading the article instead of looking for what I was looking for.
did you check out that video YouTube I sent you a long time no, man, not a long time, maybe a month ago about those guys driving the Initial D cars from Initial D?
I don't think you sent that to me because I would
Dang
have
it.
watched it.
Okay, I gotta
I
send it to you. I
remember you
watched the
sent me a
whole thing.
couple. You sent me some on the movies, like X-Men movies. I saw all that.
Oh, okay. No, I gotta find it because I got
Yep,
sidetracked too.
you got sidetracked
Oh,
too.
that's fun. It's legit. I
See,
thought something was
that's
like
the
Easter
thing.
egg.
The internet is supposed to help you learn stuff. Mainly, all it does is give you ADD.
Yes, I agree. Because sometimes like, oh, I want to watch this, then I totally
Yeah,
forgot what I was
yeah,
looking.
but instead they want to sell you something else. They're like, hey, you need to read this article
Yeah.
instead.
So I want to say it's because this movie right is inspired from Old Man Logan. So I did read those comic books too,
Okay, you read the Old Man Long comic books.
which
Well, you
has
read a lot of
nothing
stuff.
to which has nothing to do with this how this movie was.
Oh,
The
really?
the only thing that's kind of similar, he is doing a task. He's so in the Old Man Logan, right? He's helping Hawkeye out, going from the
Oh,
California to New York to deliver something, and I find it really interesting. Right, Hawkeye, he's married to Peter Parker's daughter in that
oh,
universe.
in that universe,
In
because
that
in the real
universe,
one he's Mockingbird.
yeah. So that was pretty interesting. They're like Hulk is a enemy. Hulk is a bad guy. It was like the United States divided into four territories. That's ruled by the Red Skull, I think Mysterio, Hulk, and I forgot what the other villain. And in that one, in Old Man Logan, right, it was Mysterio that tricked Wolverine into thinking the X-Men were villains.
That's the neatest thing about the comic books, and maybe it'll happen in the MCU is you can cross, in our universe, and if you watch the movies, you can only see the superheroes.
Right?
If you watch Disney, you can only see the mutants if you watched
Fox.
Fox.
Yeah.
So, and only Spider-Man stuff if you watch Sony,
Sony.
which doesn't really matter. But anyways,
Thank you.
well, because there's really not a lot because it's such a small universe that I mean they keep making stuff in Sony, but they don't have access to hardly anybody, really.
Just
I mean, in fact, they don't
Spider-Man.
even have access to some of Spider-Man's better villains because because this stuff crosses over so much. And the problem is you never see any of Avengers in an X unless you want to count Beast, who's an honorary member. You don't really see him in any of these movies, so nobody crosses over. But in the comic books, all kinds of villains can cross over.
Yep.
Because in this one, you only get to fight mutant. They only get to fight mutant
Mutants.
villains. But in the comic books, they fight all kinds of villains.
Yeah, they don't fight. They don't get to fight Doctor Doom in the
Yeah,
Fox universe with the
well,
mutants.
I guess they all can
They
now.
could have actually, because they were all by Fox.
Yeah,
It's really weird
they
that Fox had both Fantastic Four and
well
X
they
Men,
could have
but they
built
didn't do anything.
they could have they could have built a universe with those two characters. They could have had crossovers or mentions, at least mention them.
Yeah, mention them.
Because
And
I mean,
and then Ryan
even
Reynolds did that in Deadpool and Wolverine. He meant like since Johnny Storm was there, he talked about Reed Richards.
yeah.
And I loved that when they did. I'm like, oh, thank goodness, thank you, Kevin Feige. Oh, bless you,
Thank you.
man. Yeah, I like that too. So it's so funny when you said that because when I was reading the comic books, right, I totally forgot they could cross over to each other. Like, man, Mysterio's brilliant. Like,
Yeah, because
freaking
that's
out
the whole
Wolverine.
point of him. Because I mean, even in the movie version of him, he tricks people. That's what he does. He
Yep,
makes it a big old giant. He's an illusionist. He
yep,
makes you believe something that's not real.
yeah. And then that's when he killed all of them. Wow, that's really good.
That is pretty good.
Did you like Caliban in this movie? It feels like
I did like Caliban in this movie. Yes.
Caliban from this movie is so much different from the one we saw. But then in
Well,
Apocalypse, he
because
was younger,
he was younger.
and
Plus,
people change.
he wasn't there was that much to him. He was a mutant hunter. He only shows up in a few scenes. This one, he
Yeah,
says, "I'm sorry for it," and I basically like it because when he goes up to Wolverine, he's cleaning. He's helping too. You remember, he's trying to
yeah.
fix things. He's trying to make amends for all the crap he did. That's why he's cleaning up and putting up with
So I
all
did feel like
Wolverine's
this
stuff.
Caliban
But
connects. So like, yeah,
I like when he walks up to Wolverine and goes, "I already know you're dying.
yeah,
You do this, you do that," and then of course Wolverine busts his favorite cup. I mean, he takes a lot of use from it,
yeah,
even he realizes Wolverine's going to run off and leave him.
yeah.
Or at least, let's put it this way: Wolverine wasn't going to run off and leave him. Probably, Wolverine just didn't think about him at all.
Yeah, he didn't think about it. Just him
Just didn't
and
think,
X.
didn't, yeah, never dawned on him that he can't get out in sunlight.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows he can't, but he didn't care. He's just
So
thinking,
I
I'm
had to
gonna get
look that up. Like, is that something they made up for Logan?
what?
The sunlight thing.
You mean I don't know. I don't know that much about Caliban.
Okay, I didn't know that much about Caliban either, but I looked that up. Apparently it's not a weakness thing. They just played that on the albino effect. Like albinos, they get hurt from the sun, and they just put that in this movie. His weakness is not the sun. I looked that up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
didn't know much about Caliban. That's why I had to do some independent research to see like, is this true? Like, but it's not. So I guess it worked in a way for this story. Because he did talk about the Sunseeker, right? And then it's gonna be in the ocean, so I guess in a way they had to put that. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. Like, why don't Logan just take him? He doesn't burn in the sun, you know?
I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to add to it.
Yeah, they probably just add to it.
As far as I can tell, Xander Rice isn't really anybody.
Standard ice. Okay, I was just looking.
Oh, I guess they do add him. I guess they do add him eventually.
Oh, I'm looking at William Henry McGee. There's an actual real person. Doctor, because they show those two names, Dr. Xander Rice. Oh, it's just the
Well, he was just the guy that worked on the X project. I
X
guess we
Project.
see
Yeah.
him. I guess we see him get killed. Okay, he's the guy that was escaping with the briefcase full of papers. Remember the scientists in what did that was that Apocalypse? What was that? Apocalypse?
Oh
Which
no.
one? Where he escapes? Yeah, that's
That was Days
Apocalypse.
of David. That was Days of Future Past.
No, was it Days of Future
Yeah,
Past?
when that Wolverine with the stuff, they took him out of that big box and
Yeah.
Jean Grey. It was Days of Future Past. So he's the guy.
Are you sure that was that movie? I thought it was
It is
Apocalypse.
because
Okay.
oh wait, hold on.
No, I think it's Apocalypse because I don't think she appears in Days of Future Past yet. Nope, she doesn't.
It was
Her first movie was their first Cyclops and all their first movie was Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
So
Oh my
Apocalypse
god, I
was a
can't
really
believe we
long movie
remember.
because Apocalypse was such a long movie. It's almost like two movies in
It
one.
was Apocalypse
Yeah,
because they
it's
were trapped
Apocalypse.
and they're like, "How did you guys get here?" Or we had help. Oh my gosh, it is Apocalypse. Dang. So there
So
was
as far as
Xander Rice from Apocalypse.
yeah,
So he
so
took the papers.
as far as I could tell, he was never a comic book character.
No.
I mean, I could be wrong, but somebody had to point it out to me because I can't tell
It
that he
could
was.
be, let's see. Let me look at Comic
No,
Vine.
he's not. He doesn't have any other story to him other than what was on film.
Just fulfilled. But they have Dale Rice, though. Dale Rice, Alexander's father. Work on the
Oh,
original Weapon X.
yeah. Well, they just
He
and then
was
he
killed
just
by the escaping Wolverine.
okay.
Let me see
Well,
this.
if you blinked, you missed it.
Yeah, I
it's
guess.
it's one of those things. It's like here because some company just shows up and gets all his paperwork later on. So
Yeah.
oh well. So, but he acts like he's like one of Stryker's kids, but he's not.
I thought so, too, but it's just
Yeah,
another
he's
science.
not.
He's
Yeah,
he's an
just the
actual
other
doctor of a
scientist.
scientist, yeah.
Yeah.
Son of a scientist. Wow. Logan. I like that green juice. Everything like it's these chemical, right? They always like to make it green. Even our movie that we made, right? I made that green too because it's like the ooze, like from the turtles or something. It has to be green.
You don't want to make it brown.
Brown, purple, red, blue, green is the most things that stood out.
Blue would stand out. Purple would stand out. Green stand out.
But
red,
purple could be like a darker color. But green, you could make it neon, and it shows up so well on screen.
Yeah, it does make you think, huh? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it does, right? Like just the ooze.
Or radiation.
Oh, or radiation, right?
Yeah, but I don't.
Oh, the guy who plays Caliban is Stephen Merchant.
Yeah, the comedian.
Yeah, the comedian. He's really tall too. He was in Big Bang Theory.
He's 6'7", I think.
Oh, he is 6'7". Dang.
Yeah, that guy was tall. It's kind of like Lurch.
Yes, he's British. I remember looking him up. I did like the character he played in the Big Bang Theory.
Who did he play in Big Bang Theory?
So when Sheldon and Amy broke up, he went out with Amy for a few dates.
Okay.
Yeah, because like when he shows up, right, and then when Sheldon shows up at Amy's door, he's like, "Oh my God, are you Dr. Sheldon Cooper?"
Yeah,
he's like a huge fan. Oh, it's awesome.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was really tall. Yeah, that's when I know, like, oh yeah, he's really tall. But I think he was also a writer for the Office, British Office.
Oh, okay.
Because he's a comedian, so
Yeah.
Oh, I thought.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know this until I saw it was Eric LaSalle's in this movie too. Plays the father of the family that picks him up. He used to be on ER.
Oh, really?
He played a doctor on ER. Yeah.
Oh.
So he knew Batman.
He knew Batman. I know Batman.
George Clooney Batman. Put it that way.
But still Batman.
Yeah, well, he's also in Biker Boys and stuff, but he wasn't in that movie very long. But I thought I recognized that guy, and I was like, Then I saw the credits, I was like, oh, it's Eric LaSalle. I know that guy.
Yeah.
And the mom was from the Hughleys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember the Hughleys?
I do. Oh.
Yeah. Not too many people, because I couldn't figure out where I saw her too. I was like, I know that lady.
Oh, I do remember the Hughleys. Man, that's a while back.
Yeah. It was a ways back.
Yeah, ways back. How do we determine like what is old now?
When somebody younger than you comes and tells you that they saw the old Star Trek and it's Voyager. It's like, Voyager? Stayed up when I was like a teenager to watch that.
I guess
I told you.
Voyager is old, but
some young guy, I didn't think he was that young. He's like, oh yeah, I saw all the old Star Treks like Voyager and Enterprise. I was like, what?
I think it's in a way where like
I thought when he told me old Star Treks, I thought he meant like 1960s.
Yeah, 1960s, the original series.
Yeah,
I was thinking that too, but then like I see memes like, oh, you think 20 years ago was in the 80s, right? No, 20 years ago was 2000.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, I always think back, and then I think, oh yeah,
man,
that was like 20. It seems like it's just a few years ago, and I was like, well, that was 20 years ago.
Oh man, no, it
Seems
feels like Back to the Future is 20 years ago. No, not anymore. Shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, 15 years is actually a long time. A lot changes in 15 years. It doesn't look like it did. Because we're still sitting here thinking, technology really hasn't changed that much. But apparently it has.
It has.
We just don't know it yet.
From the first iPhone to now is almost 20 years.
Yeah, because we've seen it from the beginning all the way to now. So it doesn't seem like it was that long ago we saw this technology.
Wow, that's crazy.
But if anybody from a younger generation was to look at it, they go, whoa.
That's old.
Because I was thinking about this. I was talking to somebody about old vehicles. I was like, I saw somebody post, they had show a picture of a pickup floor, okay? With the pedals, the gas pedal, brake, and it had this little round button. Do you know what that little round button is? It'd be over there on your left-hand side, close to the firewall.
I can't even picture it.
It's your dimmer.
Oh.
You see, you hit your dimmer with your foot. I had to pick up you do that. You'd hit the dimmer with.
I did not know that. No, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, when you're driving down the road. Yeah, a lot of people aren't. If people are asking like, "What is that?" It's like the clutch pedal or something. No way, that's a clutch pedal, dude.
Wow, so it was a dimmer.
Yeah, it was a dimmer on the floor. I mean, things have changed so much, we just don't realize it. I mean, to me, that's like it's just.
What's crazy about change? Like headlights. Remember there was a time like you gotta remember to turn on and off your headlights, but then cars got so modern, right?
Some cars, yeah.
You could put it on auto now.
Yeah, some cars you put them on auto. And the funny thing is though, a lot of those vehicles, the dealerships don't, or the manufacturer doesn't want you to leave it on auto.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know because I have a pickup. I'm not gonna say who's the manufacturer, but I took it to the dealership. They turn it off, and even I looked in the book. It says please. It says don't run it all the time. I mean, it's not called Ford. It is, but they said don't put it on there all the time on the
Huh.
auto, which is weird. So I turn mine on and off. My Toyota is automatic all the time. You get in it, turn it on, the headlights already on. So I never have to turn the headlights on
So you never looked that up? That's interesting. I wonder
on
if
the
it's
Toyota.
like,
I don't know. Well, because things can go wrong with vehicles, and I guess they don't want to be held liable for.
I wonder if it's because like it would take away the battery or something.
Oh, I don't know. It won't take
Because
away
the
the battery
auto,
because
it
it won't
uses
take away because
sensors.
the auto is censored. But as soon as you turn the power off, the sensors are done.
Yeah, the sensors are done.
So when you turn it on, it comes on, and it's either if it's dark, the headlights come on. If it's light, they don't. But something could go wrong with that sensor, I'm sure, and they decided, oh. But like I said, the Toyota doesn't tell me that. I can turn the headlights on the Toyota on and off, which is dumb because as soon as I turn the car on, they're automatically on
Yeah, everything.
anyways.
Yeah, it's on anyway.
So I mean, me turning it on and off don't do nothing.
Maybe it's just because when you start the car, you don't want those sensors to come on like that. You want to turn it on like. But there's sometimes like, what is the difference?
There's no difference. Like I said, one manufacturer, it's no big deal, and the other manufacturer is telling you, "Hey, don't use it." But I'm like, then why is it there?
Hmm. And they can't
You know,
answer you.
it's like something else. It's like having a sensor that tells you, it looks at the road, it tells you you're about to have a collision. I'm like, I can see that.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Why do I
Since we were
need
talking
that?
about technology and change and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, and rotary
So,
telephones.
so before we get to rotary telephones, one of the things I loved driving the Tesla before was not even the automatic driving, nothing like the fancy stuff, right?
Okay,
It was
yeah,
something simple. You know how
okay,
you drive like your Corolla, your truck, whatever, like, you could lock the windows for all the other passengers, right? But once you push that
yes.
lock button, it locks the driver out too. Like you can't open and operate the other windows unless you unlock it.
Well, I think it depends on the vehicle and how many butts you have.
Okay, so all the vehicles I have been in,
Yeah,
Mazda, Subaru, Toyota, Honda, every time I press the window lock, I can control my window without worrying
yeah.
about the limit, but all the other ones don't. Until I drove my Tesla, right? When I locked the window, I can open all the other ones. It's just the passenger cannot control the window.
Oh, okay,
And then that's when
okay.
I realized like this is just such a small feature, but on a Tesla. But they're like, why don't they mimic this? Because in my mind, it makes sense. Like, hey, I could have all the kids back there. I do not want them to open the window like independently. I wanted
Yeah,
to be able to control that. But at the same time, I shouldn't have to unlock the window because then that would give them access back.
yeah,
But then they'll give me
yeah.
access to open like, hey, I can open or like technology like that. It feels like they didn't think that
Yeah.
all the way through. It feels like
Well,
such a
that's
simple
the
thing.
problem. I think they did think of the way it's It's probably the wiring process. Because you know what the engineer's thinking?
Hmm.
They have to do a whole lot of wiring in order to do that
Like a
button.
three-way light switch. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they'd have to, or they're thinking, well, why don't you just unlock it, roll the window down, and lock it back, and then let it sit that way? Oh, wait, you didn't think of that, did you?
Because I didn't want to have the trouble to just pushing the button. It's
What?
just
What?
convenience, I guess.
No, you got that button right next to all those other buttons, so you could roll that window down, lock it back.
But I guess it depends on cause because the van it have a lot of buttons on my side,
Yeah,
like for
yeah,
other
yeah,
stuff. But like
whatever.
it's just such a simple thing.
Well,
Stupid technology.
apparently it wasn't such a simple thing.
Rotary phones. Oh. I
Ever
still
use
remember
one?
the first day, like when you have a phone, right? You just you push the button. That was
Yeah.
mind blowing.
Oh
And I
no,
was a little kid.
yeah, we had rotary long. Everybody else had push button. We had rotary at long. Yeah, I mean, we just got push button, but for the longest time, I saw people with push button. I thought, well, that's neat. Instead, I got this.
Yeah. Oh, I messed up.
I
I
was
gotta
like,
hang up. Try it again.
yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. You did because you
You
sometimes
have
you
to
put your
hang up.
because
Yeah.
you're in the deal and you hit your put your finger in the wrong deal because
Yep.
you didn't let it spin all the way back.
Yep.
Or you,
Oh, you have to let it
yeah,
spin all the way back. Man,
yeah,
that's
that was a
crazy.
yeah.
Wow, a rotary phone. I still remember like one of Cody's first cell phones, the Nokia. They make the keypad like the rotary phone, but then you still just press the keys anyway.
Yeah. Or I could say this, but the problem is I don't think they ever fixed it. Remember, you have to change. Let's say you want to play Atari
Mm-hmm.
or Nintendo, you have to change it. You either have to turn to channel 2 or channel 3,
Channel three
depending
and
on.
four, yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 on one of mine.
Oh, really?
I think it depends on where you were, and you had to figure it out because not really anybody know.
Yeah.
And there were some of the times you had that little adapter you had to put on the back of the TV, and then you had that little switch on the back of
Oh,
that you had
yes,
to
that's the
turn that.
UHF, right? Yes, I do
Yeah.
remember.
Which the funny thing is, I was going to gripe about that, but it's not really a gripe because a lot of TVs to play video games on it, you got to turn it to a certain setting.
It's
If this TV I'm looking at the watching you on, I have to pick up the channel changer and change it to something so I could play the games. But the
yes,
neat thing is I could plug in my computer, I could plug my PlayStation in, I could plug a DVD player and a Blu-ray player, and I just click to this one for
different
that,
inputs.
click
Yeah.
to this one or that one, yeah, all the inputs. Which I like
Wow.
that because this thing's I got five
You know,
inputs
it's
in it.
really funny when you mentioned the channel 3 and 4. I actually was, I gotta go back to it. Someone does actually explain recently why you have to do that. It's probably the frequency of
Yeah,
the
it was
trans.
yeah
Yeah.
because you remember it had yeah because the TVs. I guess they eventually changed it. I remember we had channel changer one, but originally when we started with the Nintendo, they had like a frequency and you had to turn this
Yep.
deal,
Yep.
turn
Yep.
this up. It had two deals, and it had the one because sometimes you had to set it there and adjust it after you found the station you want to watch. You had to adjust it so you could see the picture.
Wow.
This is that something sitting
That
there
is something.
adjusting it. Oh, it's
I
clear
still,
now.
it still blows my mind the first time I was able to figure out like you could record like Super Nintendo footage with your VCR. Because the Super Nintendo, well, the Nintendo had the video and the RCA cable, the coaxial. Is it coaxial or component? RCA cables,
Depends.
the RCA cables, right? Then I
Yeah, the
can figure out
RCA
like, oh, you
cables.
could record stuff.
I thought the RCA cables were awesome because you got
It
away from the
is.
coaxial
You
cable.
got
It's
away
like,
from coaxial cable. That was one of
and
the
they were easy to
best
plug in because
things.
yeah, coaxial
Yeah,
you had to sit
you
there and
had
go
to do the thing, and
unscrew
sometimes
it,
like, is it catching? I hate that thing.
and then eventually they made S cables, which I never really had any. I had something. I never had anything that I used an S cable.
I never used anything to S cable either.
I went from RCA pretty much to USB. Not USB. What was that other one?
HDMI.
Yeah, HDMI. I went to straight to it.
So
Well,
you
no,
never
actually,
used a
I
red,
had
green,
something else.
yellow.
Yeah, I
No,
used
the
the red, green,
Xbox is a
yellow.
red,
I
green,
used tons
yellow.
of those. Oh, I used
Yeah.
tons of those. I used those for the longest time,
Yeah,
right?
5 cables. Yep.
And then finally, I went and switched over to
HDMI is so great.
yeah. Sad thing is HDI. I would like to say did that recently, but that was 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
That was actually 10 years ago.
I think the first time I was using HDMI was the Xbox 360. But Xbox
Yeah,
360 had the 5 cables too, and
yeah. No,
eventually they went to HDMI.
ironic. It is. To this day. It was 10 years ago when I first started using HDMI.
Yep.
I
Wow.
didn't really use the HDMI because even I had HDMI for some reason. When I had my Xbox, I would never use the HDMI. I didn't own it, didn't buy it, and then when I moved here, I bought it and put it in. And now my computer is plugged into my TV, so I can see you,
Yep.
courtesy of HDMI. So it's
Crazy
just
HDMI.
pretty much what they use on the bridge of the Starship Enterprise to see all the alien races.
Is this the
HDMI.
Dodge truck that looks like the exhaust is the HDMI plugs? Have you seen the Dodge
Oh, I
van?
seen that.
I
I
mean,
saw
not
that.
van.
Yeah,
The
that was a
truck.
Dodge truck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that was a
truck,
Dodge
right?
truck
It
in
looks like
that
an
in that.
HDMI.
I'm pretty sure that was a Dodge truck. Not. Well, I don't know. I think that might have been Chevrolet.
You think Chevrolet? I'm gonna look it
Maybe
up.
been
I mean, we
Chevy.
got off topic from Logan for a
Because I know
long
they
time.
said HDMI one and HDMI
Yeah,
two.
yeah, on that meme, right?
Yeah,
Like
on the
Dodge.
exhaust. I know it's not a Ford.
Yeah, it's not a Ford. I want to say it's Dodge. Let me see. Maybe it's Chevy. I thought it was always cool. Like every time I see that truck, I think about HDMI inputs.
Did
Yeah, I can't. But like,
you find it?
well, I type in HDMI Dodge truck, right, and then just talk about the input in the navigation system.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Yeah, I'll probably come across it. No, no biggie. All right,
Let's
so
see.
I did write this line, right? There are no more guns in the valley. Because Laura remembers the speech from the movie
Yeah,
Shane.
from the movie Shane.
I thought that was pretty good. I think I'm going to use that for the title. And I have been thinking about since that last time you said when we watched, was it New Mutants when we were talking about Multiple Man? Or was it?
Oh yeah, multiple. Man.
I've been thinking
That's
about
New
that a
Mutants.
lot. Like, I don't want superpowers. I don't want to read people's minds. I want to be Multiple Man. You're right. I had never wanted to be Multiple Man until I'm the age of 45.
Well, and then now you look back on it, you probably wanted to always be the multiple.
Yeah,
Man.
you're right.
Still
Even
not.
at 24, like I could travel the world. I could whatever.
Yep. You
And
can be in
then
5 different places at once.
I could be 5 different places at once. But I don't know how Multiple Man works. Like, do I experience all 5 at the same time when I'm
No,
all
I think
multiple?
I think you
It's
have to
when
come
you
back.
we come back. Okay.
Yeah, I think when you come back
So
and
it's
reset.
kind of
But
like
I'll take that. It's memories.
yeah, it's two
Because most
memories
of
I
every
have.
because usually most of your stuff is not the moment, it's the memories you remember.
Yeah, but then
But to
yeah,
him, it's like he did it. That when it comes back to do it, it's not really a memory. It's like he did it.
wow. And he doesn't have superpowers. It's just multiple.
Yeah, he's supposed to do that. That's his a superpower.
Wow.
But he's a mutant, so
And you know what's really crazy with multiple men? Like you think about like the multiple things, but like I could play two play games the whole time. I could play Contra by myself. I could play Bomberman with all four players. I could have
yeah.
a basketball game, all 10 of us,
Oh yeah,
and then like I would have a great time.
it would.
Wow.
Well, unless one of your clones is an ass, yeah,
But it's
you're
not a
gonna have a
clone,
pretty
is
good.
it though? But
Well, I
would
mean,
they
it's
have
kind of a
multiple personalities, or is it like that Michael Keaton movie,
no. It's going to be you.
multiplicity?
No, it's not. That was each clone got crappier.
Dumber. Yeah.
Yeah, each clone was like a copy of paper. So I mean,
It
copy
just get
machines are
worse.
pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah, but the copy machines are pretty good now. So the papers don't really get worse.
Man, you know what? It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
This is a
Multipli-
way long time ago,
multipli-
but I thought that was so cool.
multiplicity.
I went out and read that and thought, oh, this is funny. That was a
Oh,
good
it's pretty
movie. I
funny.
like
Yeah,
that.
it's a
Well,
pretty
like,
good
he
movie.
had multiples of him. I thought that's so to me that's so cool because I always wanted to multiply myself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people always tell you, "Hey Shane, if I had like 100 of you, I could do this." I was thinking, if I had 100 of me, I could take over the world. I wouldn't. We wouldn't need you.
But then you would think about it, like you could build your house faster.
I could do everything, man.
You can.
Everything. Me and my little multiples, we can start a company. We can manufacture cars. We could do
Wow.
anything, build airplanes.
I feel like every time we're gonna talk about multiple, man.
I wouldn't need anybody because the
Yeah.
other one multiples would be like on the same page with me.
I wonder if
But I,
multiple man has a
but
time
again,
limit to like how
but it
long
wouldn't
can
be
you
a.
be multiple, right?
I
No.
don't know. The problem is with the neat thing about us talking about this, you can do anything you want. You don't have to be multiple man.
And you know
You
what?
can
You can
make.
commit
You can,
crimes if nobody knows that you're multiple men. Like, well, my alibi is here. I can't possibly be whatever
no,
and
no,
it is at
no.
the same time.
Yeah, but your DNA is the same,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your
so
DNA is the same.
they may convict you on the DNA.
Oh, that's tricky.
Because the problem is you're gonna have to have your other multiples say, "Oh yeah, he was here with me."
But then,
See, that's the thing, because you got to think, there's got to be somebody to see you and say, "Oh, you're with them."
wow, that's crazy.
So
They could get you on DNA, but then like, what if someone placed my DNA there? Like, oh, but like, oh, look at me, I'm alibi. I can never be. I was 100 miles away. You can find my DNA there, but then like, how do you know I wasn't in there? You know, like I spit on the ground or something. But we found your semen, sir. Well, I don't know. Someone could take my semen there.
oh, well, that's just weird. No,
It
that's
is. Every time you like
yeah.
semen, like
We're in a bank vault at a jewelry store at an ATM machine. What are you doing?
I think I remember a comedian say that like when they say DNA, like are they talking about like hair follicles, like skin, dead skin that they found, like blood, like a semen, like why is it always semen? Because everything has your DNA. Like if I,
Yeah,
people are
everything.
always
Yes, a
shedding.
hair follicle
You know?
probably a safer bet.
Yeah, but then like how do I know I wasn't? How did like the DNA can't prove that what time you were there? Does it make sense? Like if my hair follow, like but for my arm, they found it in a crack of something. Like
Well, they could probably prove about what time, how long it's been since it fell off your body. Everything ages.
I guess that's true.
I mean, they'll probably look at it and go, "Oh
But
yeah,
then that
it's
would
been
be
there."
crazy to find like arm hair. But then like other people's arm hair there too. Like are they all murderers or whatever? They just have to find a connection. You know. What are you looking up now? DNA.
No, no, I'm looking. I'm still looking. You still got me looking for the.
The 24 Chrysler.
It's a GMC. Oh, somebody's made two of them. Somebody must have copied that other guy.
Oh, it's
It was a
GMC. I think you're right.
which is to me Chevy.
See truck.
Yeah, the one I'm seeing is the picture. It looks like the meme, but it's not showing me that meme. That meme you can
Yeah,
see.
the
It, but it
HDMI thing, right? Yeah.
shows a picture of that pickup though. Yeah, and it's got GMC and all these.
Oh, I think it's GMC.
But it's not showing. I'm not finding the meme. I'm just finding
Just
somebody
do
showing a
what's the
picture of a
trying to
pickup.
see what
Yeah,
the exhaust muffler
Yeah,
or something.
somebody's showing a picture of that GMC and it's got that written on there. So that must be a pickup. Somebody took a picture and better made the meme out of it.
I'm just gonna put like which truck exhaust pipe
Yeah,
looks like an
so
HDMI port.
well, all you have to do is it's GMC.
Is it GMC?
Yeah, because there it is. You can't really see it on my phone.
Oh, I kind of see it because they circle the red thing on it.
Yeah, it says HDMI one and HDMI two,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it seemed like he had something written on the back glass too.
It looks like an HDMI port. Oh, I think I found it on Reddit.
Did you find it?
About to like my internet's running slow right now because I think I'm trying to stream this at the same time.
Well,
Oh, someone put it on. Oh, the Honda Civic SI.
oh, did they? No,
But it doesn't look as much as like the truck one though.
it don't. You see, here's the problem with all these memes and stuff. If you, or somebody will do like a good joke, you'll see a good joke, and then everybody copies it, and then it's
Yeah.
like, what? You do it, and a lot of people when they copy, they do it even worse. Can't
Yeah,
remember
it's
I saw some
they
other
trying
joke.
to make it
Somebody,
fit. Yeah,
yeah, somebody did
it's one
another
of those
joke,
things.
and then their acting ability was so horrible. It wasn't funny the second time I saw. It. I'm like, I've seen this like 5 times on Instagram now.
Yeah.
With somebody trying to tell the same joke.
All right, Shane, you got anything else in Logan?
Uh, sorry, I do not.
What was the thing that you don't like? Like, what's scene? You talk about the good scene. No, we talk about like
I
scenes
don't
that we
like. I
love.
don't. What I don't like is those the extra Wolverine,
Oh,
the
that's it.
clone Wolverine. Yeah, the clone
I mean, like
Wolverine.
scene, not like the character. Was there any scene that bothers you?
Yeah, when that guy jumps in the back seat of his car and just starts talking, I'm like, I need to
Oh,
get this going. Get this going. This guy's.
the only thing I don't like, right? Like that Pierce guy, he made it out in time when they blow up. When Caliban blew up
Oh
himself. Oh,
yeah,
of course he did, right? But then
yeah.
I did like all the
That would have
kid
been good.
villains.
I would have been happy if we got killed in there.
Yeah, but then I also like that they torture him, the kids.
Oh,
That was a better scene though, because oh, he didn't die with the explosion, but
oh
then he
yeah, I
died
did
like
like
this.
that.
Like
I did like
that
that when
was
they all put
much
him down on
better.
the ground and
When
they're
they
putting
hunt him down on
grass
the
and the
ground, yep.
earth and all that stuff over him. Yeah, that
And
was
they were
good.
like electrocuting him at the same time, and then they were freezing
Yeah.
him. Like, dude,
Well,
this
I
is
liked all the
tough.
scenes where they try to help Wolverine.
Yeah, that was really good when they cut his
But
when they cut off
but
his
it's like
spear.
but other scenes that I just hate. It's like, that was just the Wolverine, the extra Wolverine I didn't really need.
Yeah, the extra
Because
wolf.
I'm like, I've already
Yeah, they're
seen that.
always trying to make like, why can't the X-23 look like somebody that's not Hugh Jackman?
Yeah,
Would that be
because he's
okay?
yeah, it would have been I would have been fine with it. Because it's
But it's
funny how easily they made another Wolverine. So easy. They had such a hard time doing the Weapon X part. And they're like, oh yeah, we just made him real easy. So I'm like, why
well,
do
I
you
want
need
to
the
say because
extra?
of technology
Here's another thing.
advance.
Here's another thing I didn't understand. Okay. The whole goal was to make weapon kids. And then they go, oh, well, we have the weapon X-24 now. So we don't need the kids, so they're going to kill all the kids, right?
Hmm.
Then why did they spend so much time and lose so much losses and stuff to hunt these kids down?
Because they don't want those kids running around, right? To find out what they were
Oh, it
doing.
wouldn't have mattered though. Me, if it was my company, I would just put it on the books. We don't know nothing about it. Go on.
Also, just say that like, oh, because since
Yeah,
they, oh no, you're right. Since they're
because
also kids, they don't know our corporation.
yeah, they don't know nothing really. Those kids hardly knew
That
anything,
does make
so they just
sense.
turn them loose.
I thought your problem was that like, why did they do the kids thing? But like, it's
Because see,
because they
here's the
needed the
thing.
research.
Because they could have made the hundreds. They could have went back to the deal and go, okay, if they show up, we'll just send some more X-24s because we're gonna make an army of X-24s and hunt them down later on. Why would you got to hunt them down right now?
Yeah, they should
I
just
mean,
use
look, because
X-24
look,
to hunt him down.
exactly. Because look at all the losses and stuff they suffer just trying to kill all those kids.
But then, if you think about it, there's no way that Laura can or X-24 can kill each other, right?
I don't think Laura would have been able to kill X-24.
Or
They
vice
that
versa.
apparently they must have thought they could kill her.
Can you? It's kind of like Laura. Can you kill
They
Laura? It's just
they
like
killed
Logan.
they killed Wolverine, so I guess you can.
Did you like that they shot him with the antimonium bullet and he killed him?
Oh, that was awesome when it blew his brains off. But I was
Yeah,
like, because remember, me and you had a big discussion though, shooting at
yeah,
somebody in the head that had an exomanium skeleton. It won't do nothing.
yeah.
Like
But then
something
they
like the
blew his
hardest
brain
metal,
off.
shooting the hardest metal with another metal. I don't think it's going to do anything. I mean, it's pointed and it could because you're putting all that force in one spot, but I think it would dent it in.
Yeah, it would have
But
dented in. Yeah.
she blew his whole part of his top of his head off, which is weird since Stryker shot Wolverine in the head. So apparently the antimadium must have been like from Timu or something because he was a Timu Wolverine.
Well, okay, hold on. So let's just talk about that. Like Wolverine's skull is still there. It's just covered, right? But you can still penetrate it. But this is the bullet is all antimanium.
Yeah.
It's not like a cover bullet.
So it should have just like penetrated it. If it shot it shouldn't have blew it up.
Oh yeah. It would
because
penetrate
if it's all it's like shooting tanks. Tanks are made out of like let's say tanks are made of various things. Most of them are made out of steel. A lot of United States tanks are made out of what do you call it? Depleted uranium.
Okay.
Inside the steel. What they use shells that are depleted uranium. So when it shoots it, it just goes through it. It don't blow it up, doesn't do nothing. It burns a hole right on through it and it kills everybody in the compartment inside there.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing with that Wolverine. It should just burn a hole through his head and blew up all the brains inside there, but shouldn't blow the whole head off. Because it's one big metal shell. Because the bullet, I mean, it's not going in flesh. It's going in a big old steel aluminum, like the hardest metal that we know.
So it would make more sense if they shot him to the eyeball. Then it could blow.
Yeah,
but then it wouldn't blow up.
But it shouldn't have. The head should have blown off.
Yeah,
I mean, it could have went. I would have thought it could have went through his whole head and just went on through, but not make a mess.
Yeah.
But I mean, they already cut people's hands off and heads off. They're like I said, this guy was really into cutting heads.
It's really funny. Yeah, but not only that, like it feels like once Logan was given the rated R rating, right? Actually, Deadpool was the first one. When they give Logan the rated R rating, dude, he just went off killing people right off the beginning.
Yeah, well, it was basically like a comic book.
Yeah.
I did think the scene though where those people show up, where they're at the water pump station, and they kind of talk, the way they talk to him, he just jumps up there and says, "Hey, dude, it's that guy. You better get out of here."
Yep.
That was Wolverine.
Yes, that's very Wolverine. Yep. I'm the guy who tells you to turn around and leave.
Yeah, I'm the guy that tells you. Who are you?
Oh, then he broke that shotgun really easily, like that.
Yeah.
Oh. I did like that when they come back and trying to get even, right? When he's like, "I'll pay you 5,000." That's a week. Wow, that's really nice. Can I work for this guy? 5,000 a week? Yep. Shoot.
And then they get killed by the Dark Wolverine.
Yeah, by the Dark Wolverine. That was pretty funny too. And they're like, "Holy crap!" He just starts slicing them off and everything. Like, dude. Yeah. I think it's funny.
I wish that would have been Sabretooth. I still think that would have been if that would have been Sabretooth coming back.
It's always these moments where I always talk about like, okay, you see a guy like this and you shoot him. It's not doing effect, right? Stop shooting him. Ever since the Terminator 2. Yeah. In 1992 or 3, I always think about that. Like,
but sometimes but the thing is, it's the fear factor now. It's just like
it's the fear factor. Yeah, you don't know what you do at that moment.
But sometimes really the more bullets you put in something, eventually it stops.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's probably what they're thinking. Because you got to think they're not thinking it's healing back or anything. They're just thinking this guy's on crack. I need a bigger gun. I wish I had a bazooka. Because a lot of times, like they have to. Some people tell you, like if somebody's coming at you, you shoot until they go down.
Yeah, like an animal, you shoot them until they go down.
They also are drug crazed people.
Yeah, drug crazed people.
Just keep on putting it in there until they fall down, because otherwise you're going to get killed. So that's basically what they're doing. They just keep putting bullets until it goes down, or otherwise they're going to be killed. But hey, it didn't help. They died.
Yep, they died themselves. They got their stuff cut off. Is crazy.
Yeah, so that's why you should do shooting and running.
Yeah, shoot and running. You need to practice that.
Or just shoot a couple times, run, stop, turn around, shoot us some more, run, stop.
Man, you gotta be fit too.
You have to be fit. You have to be a good shot too, because
you gotta be a good shot too.
Yeah, because if you're running, you're gonna miss.
Yeah, because like your hands is moving already all over the place.
Yeah,
you make it like a Wild West movie, just shooting and running.
Yeah.
Maybe just run.
Yeah, just run.
Just be athletic the whole time, and then you're fine.
Though. That Wolverine's pretty fast.
Yeah, Wolverine is pretty fast, right?
He's very fast. Cause he's looking through those binoculars, and
I was thinking about that scene.
And he runs all the way out there and catches up with him. How?
Because it regenerates, so he doesn't really get tired.
Eventually,
right?
I mean, but think though, it doesn't matter about that. I mean, think of how fast you have to go, because they're way off there.
Well, if you think about it, because like he's running to trees, right? But these cars have to, go through these roads.
Yeah, right. I mean, but still, at that distance,
But it's still like he's still running through these mountains, right? Like these
yeah. And we
hills
keep
and stuff.
seeing him being tired. I'm like, a Wolverine tired is like not as like us being dead.
Yeah, it has been dead.
He's like, oh, I'm tired. We're like, we can't even walk anymore. We're dead.
So did you like the death scene? Let's end it with this discussion. How Wolverine died.
Yeah, I didn't really think. I mean, it just doesn't make sense for him to die to me, anyway. So
Because he's not able to die
he's
because
never really
whatever.
supposed to die. I guess eventually he could die, but I mean, not like that. I
I
mean,
guess the
I guess it was
poisoning
okay.
thing makes sense from the Wolverine.
It didn't bother me. It's just more like, so this whole movie is about him actually dying. And he actually died. It's
Yeah.
Wolverine. Did y'all not read the comic books?
So this is what it feels like.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what? I've already seen this 100 times in other movies. He's not. This is not. This isn't the vampire movie.
Eventually, he does come back in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, but not that one that we saw die.
Yeah.
I mean, he
It's a
does come
different
back in the
one.
movie, but he's not alive
Yeah,
ever
it's a
again.
different Wolverine.
I mean, he's just used in horrible ways.
That's really good. I feel like that Wolverine could be the one from Old Man Logan, actually. Eventually, because they did touch on Old Man Logan in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Well, all the Wolverines could eventually be the old man Logan.
Yeah, eventually.
I mean, I guess I think he could actually die because they say that it really. I mean, I don't know. The comic books keep changing. They reboot the comic books, they change it. But at one time, he was hundreds of years old because the process of him healing it just slowed his healing factor down. Because you got to think our cells eventually just quit and stop.
Yeah.
His cells eventually they
Will
just go
slow
a
down
little further,
too, yeah.
but eventually they stops and he dies. So I mean, I guess Wolverine, the one I know and I always read in the comic books, he eventually would die, especially if you blew him up. I mean, he wasn't Deadpool. You blow Deadpool up, cut his head off.
Yeah, he would come back.
Yeah, he'd come back.
Well, at
Because in this
least.
movie, they even remember he cut that Wolverine. They blew that Wolverine's eyeball out.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
they give him that green stuff, and the eyeball grows right on back.
Yeah, that goes right on back.
Like, oh,
That's
what is
right.
this I was like, what is this, Deadpool?
Yeah, they pump that green stuff and then it goes back. It goes
I
back.
guess that's possible.
Now I think about it, I didn't think too much about the brainless Wolverine. But it's just something that you want to control. Like, I'm not so sure if I want that kind of responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's just like I say, now I'm tired of this characters going, oh, here's the exact copy of you. Let's watch y'all fight. Like, I mean,
They didn't do it like Marvel, like Captain America versus
lazy.
Captain America.
Yeah,
That's
that
just
was
lazy
good.
writing?
That was good. And it's usually lazy writing because it's like, oh, I got to get this script done by tomorrow. I'll just have him fight himself. Yay.
Hey, you know what? Hugh
that's something I
Jackman
would
liked
do.
it.
I mean, Hugh Jackman, right? That was a good paycheck, but he didn't get paid twice.
Yeah, you don't get paid twice by playing the same character in the movie, right?
Sometimes you probably want to.
Yeah. Because it's just an acting job. Now I'm acting this way. That Wolverine looks really young, too.
Yeah, he looked pretty young.
Age 24.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to end it right here because there's no more guns in the valley. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of Tensai Reviews. If you like what you heard, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next one.